This is the Big O Show. 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 This.
So here we are. I wanted to show you the backyard again because we had some trouble last time, but you know, CuttersEdgePro.com does some amazing stuff, and there are the boys and the girl. They're having fun. There we go. Right, Maiden? Right, Bono? There we go. They're having fun. I'm having fun. Look at our Sylvester palm. It is beautiful. We got another one in the front yard like that. You can take your home and landscaping to the next level. And the artificial turf, look at that. Look at that, the two dinosaurs going at it, huh? Look at that. I gotta love the dinosaurs. Look at them. They like to bite each other's legs. That's what they do. They play with each other and then they bite each other and they piss each other off. It's fun. One is Bono, which is the one farther away from you, and Maiden. She's the girl right here. She's a badass. That's for sure. So anyway, see the flowers are coming out. Very nice. CuttersEdgePro.com, folks. This big tree there will start budding that I'm showing you there soon. It'll have all kinds of flowers. I'll post another video and I'll show it to you. This is a backyard where everybody gets to hang out. Over there in the corner there, I put the barbecue and cook. So that way it's the farthest away from the house, you know. If I light myself on fire or somebody else, we're out in the corner away from everybody. There you go. So you're getting some flowers coming out, which is a beautiful thing. And I swear by this artificial turf, it always looks phenomenal. I don't have to cut it. I don't have to water it. And so I'm saving a lot of money, hundreds and thousands in the long run, because I'm not watering or, of course, cutting the grass. And you know, here in South Florida, we cut the grass like every 10 to 14 days.
For over 16 years, EJDConstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDConstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDConstruction.com.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your Inter Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at Caneswear.com or InterMiamiWear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where Inter Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
Hialeah Park Casino is turning 10, and we're bringing you an anniversary bash like never before. See a million, win a million. Join us every Saturday in August, where 10 lucky customers will have a chance to take home $1 million. Snap a selfie with $1 million in cash, post it on social media, and get ready to win even more fantastic prizes. Come to Hialeah Park Casino's 10th anniversary celebration and make history with us. When you see $1 million, win $1 million.
Oh, great. You have a doorbell camera. Now you have a front row seat to your house getting robbed.
They're breaking into my house!
Ooh, there goes the TV. I'm sure it'll turn up at the pawn shop.
No, not the TV!
Just because you can see them, that doesn't mean you can stop them. With Slogans, you get 24-hour monitoring, a free home security system, and professional installation. Plus, free doorbell camera, one that'll actually work for you.
Get out of my house! Get out of the house!
Call 1-800-ALARM-ME.
With more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes, Welton Rayom is committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. They handle complex personal injury claims caused by the fault of another in both state and federal courts. They handle auto, trucking, motorcycle, slip and fall, and bicycle accidents. Call 954-966-4646. That's 954-966-4646. Welton Rayom can help. Statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc., ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
Good morning, boys and girls. Welcome aboard. Yes, sir. Ready to rock and roll. I like it. I like it. I like it. Although I got to, you know what? Let me raise that a little bit there. Just a little bit there. Just a little bit. Let's see. There, that's better. Much better. There's no space here, man. It was like I was up here, you know. So there we go. Welcome aboard on a beautiful, beautiful Monday. Yes, sir. Welcome aboard. Thank you all for joining us here on the program. Those of you that are already on the chat board there, the 76 I see already lining up here on the live show. Thank you so much. On behalf of Sean and myself, really appreciate it. As always, thank you all for supporting the show. Do want to remind you, tomorrow, the show switches over. We're ready, right, Sean? We're ready officially tomorrow, right? Correct? We got everything? He thinks so. He thinks so. You know. So Big O Radio Show Live, I just put the link there on the chat board. So take a second, visit it, hit the subscription, hit the notification bell. We're going to start doing live tomorrow there. We're going to move only the live show. All the interviews, rants, breaking news, Dolphins pre and post game will all be here on this channel. So stay, subscribed, because you'll get all the stuff here. The only thing we're moving is the daily live show. This that starts at 10 a.m. on Thursdays at 3 p.m. This daily live show, we're going to move it over, okay? And then I think we're also going to add another program to this one too, but I got to run it through Sean first because I came up with this idea that I think it'll be another live show, but it's a short live show, but it'll be like Hardcore Dolphins. So I'm working on that now. It's ideas going through my head and all that kind of stuff. We got merch coming. Okay, merch is coming very, very soon. right around the corner. So we're working on it. Thanks to our great friends at 3A Graphics. And we got our sports calendar today, by the way. The Miami Marlins, unfortunately, losing 2 of 3 to the stinking Dodgers. Boy, did you see Dodger Stadium right now? It is like, because it's in a valley, it's completely underwater. And prayers to our friends in Southern California, Nevada, all the way up the West Coast as it gets affected by Hillary. And that thing gets pounded. So tonight, if everything goes well, they'll be at Petco Park at 9:40. Old ass Johnny Cueto is on the mound against Blake Snell. All right. Also on our 3A Graphics sports calendar, Inter Miami, they win the Leagues Cup on Saturday night in a shootout, and they defeat Nashville to win the title. Now they've got the U.S. Open Cup, and that'll be on Wednesday, and that'll be at 7 o'clock. They visit Cincinnati to take on the Cincinnati Club. They've got a beautiful stadium, by the way. At 9:30, it's Houston and Real Salt Lake. The winners will advance to the finals of the U.S. Open Cup. So Miami did a great job of getting here without Messi. Now you have Messi and company for the final 2 games. Let's see if they can get it done and beat Cincy and the winner of the Houston Real Salt Lake. And by the way, that is, if they can win the U.S. Open Cup, man, God, that is so amazing. It's going to be so sweet. I've always wanted one of our local teams, the Fusion, the Miami FC, the Strikers, and now Inter Miami. I've always wanted them to win a U.S. Open Cup. Every time they've been in it, some of them have had some runs, some success, but never anything like this. And so now you've got a real shot. A few years back, Miami FC made a great run, dude. It was so awesome. I believe they beat 3 MLS teams in that run. And then they finally lost to the Chicago Fire in Chicago. I was there for that game, and it was heartbreaking, because they had a really good team. They had like an $11 million payroll in the NASL, which is more than they spend in the MLS on average. So, it was pretty cool that year because Ricardo Silva is one hell of an owner, man. The man that owns Miami FC, he is a great dude, man. So let's see if they can get this done. So you've got that going on. Dolphins, of course, hit the practice field, and this will be the final week for preseason game number 3 before they get going for the regular season. Call my guy, Alan Blanco, at 3A Graphics, custom printing and embroidery. They're at 980 West 22nd Street in Hialeah, 786-251-3404. You see it there, right there on the billboard. Our 3A Graphics sports calendar. All right. Howdy O, Ashoka series debuts tomorrow. I know, I can't wait, Ray. I can't wait. In fact, I went last night to the Disney Channel just to make sure. I go to my wife. Ashoka starts on Tuesday, right? And she looked at me like fish-eyed, like, you idiot. Am I supposed to know that? Like, you're the geek, not me. And so she kind of looked at me like the RCA dog, and then I looked around. I wasn't there, and I go, yeah, that's right, Tuesday. So I can't wait for Ashoka on Tuesday. I'm looking forward to it. I am big time looking forward. I just finished Warrior, bro. I need something new. You know what I'm saying? I watched the first 2 episodes of the Lakers this weekend. I had not watched it yet, so I watched the first 2 episodes of season 2, that is. I already saw season 1. And entertaining. I know it's not, exactly what happened, but it's entertaining. So I'm enjoying it. I'm a sports guy. What the hell? I watched the 2nd episode of Hard Knocks with the Jets. So yeah, a lot of F-bombs in that one. A lot of F-bombs. Yeah, no doubt about it. So great weekend, man. It's a great weekend overall. To see what's been going on, and a victory cigar has to be given, obviously, to Inter Miami for their championship. That was nice, dude. That was really nice for Inter Miami to win the Leagues Cup. I could not be happier. I got to tell you, that was super cool. Super cool. That was fun. And for a guy like myself that has pushed soccer and has been a huge supporter of local soccer, I was like I almost felt like a father, in a way. Just had a kid, and you're spreading out the cigars, and you're all pumped up, and that's kind of how I felt. And I'm so happy to see that the Moss brothers and everybody that's now working at Inter Miami, they get to have some success, and they get the attention that they deserve, and all the hard work too, after all the mistakes and everything else. The fact that they never stopped, and they were just, dead set on becoming great. And who knows, maybe they might just get there, and they're well on their way, man. What a weekend to see that happen. That is just absolutely awesome. Sean and myself will be in Vegas at the end of September for the Canelo fight. So looking forward to that. Canelo will be taking on Jamal Charlo. We'll be out there for the September 30th fight. So I'll be in Vegas for my birthday, October 1st. How about that? Who's going to be in Vegas? Who lives in Vegas? Let's get together. Let's have a party. Gotta have a party. Gotta have some fun. I'm in Vegas for my birthday. Trying to tell my wife to go out there. She probably won't. So I'll probably be. So it's up to all you out there. Those of you that live in Vegas, you could we could get together. I got to talk to Tommy Rockers. Maybe we'll do the Dolphins pre and post game show there. So who knows? But that'll be fun. We'll be out there at the end, and U2 opens up at the Sphere. So now my job is to get a general admission ticket to get into the Sphere on the 28th, right? Which is the Thursday. So Thursday night, I need to be in the Sphere in Vegas. Okay? I need a general admission ticket. So I got to get that done. I got to work on that like right away. So if anybody that lives in Vegas, maybe you're going to the concert in Vegas, you got an extra general admission ticket, I will buy it. Okay? I want to be there on the 29th when they open that thing up, baby. I'm looking forward to that. What else do we have going on in the world of sports? Obviously, Robert Jones gets injured for the Miami Dolphins. That sucks. That is absolutely brutal that Robert Jones gets injured. Now, listen, I get it. Josh Moser works with Drew Rosenhaus and all that good stuff. And he put out the report that Drew gave him that he would be out 4 to 6 weeks. And, a battle for a starting job. He was not getting a starting job. Okay, so first of all, let's report things the way they are. They can't do that because he's tied to the agent and on the channel, and so they got to go with all that. But let's cut through, because we cut through the bullshit on this platform. I like Robert Jones. He had no shot at starting. He was a backup. And did you watch the performance this weekend? They looked terrific. They opened up holes for everybody, dude. And Eichenberg, I don't know where the injury came from. I didn't know he had an injury. And then he's inactive. I'm like, okay, so they're just resting him because they'd seen enough. And, hey, let's give other guys a shot. That's what I thought. And then after it came out that he had an injury, and I didn't even know. I thought it was just rest. And, by the way, I'm glad they rested him, or he was injured or what. I hope it's nothing serious. I don't want the man injured. I don't wish injury on anybody. But I've kind of seen enough of Liam Eichenberg. I'm kind of enough and done with him, to be quite honest. Kind of like with Noah Igbinoghene, I'm kind of like, I've given Noah more than enough time. I'm a patient person. I don't pass judgment on rookies right away unless I already have inside information that they can't play, or they're lazy, or they have character issues or something like that. Like Tannehill, I never thought he could be a real quarterback because he just never really had the instincts. And I don't believe you develop instincts to be a quarterback. You're either a quarterback or you're not. The other one was Vontae Davis. I got heavily criticized, just like for the Ryan Tannehill stuff. And I said, hey, man, he can play, but he's immature. He's got maturity issues. And I warned people about it. And, so I'll do things like that sometimes with rookies. But that's because I have prior information about them. And then I'll share that information. I'll tell you, hey, man, look, this is the questionable part about this person. And it might be their character. It might be whatever. It might be their work ethic. Who knows? Whatever. So I'm patient normally. I gave Noah enough time. I'm done with Noah. I'm done. And I didn't need to see him burned one-on-one again this past weekend. He doesn't. It's the same thing as Tannehill. He doesn't have the instincts to be a corner. And so at one point or another, he's going to screw you and screw you big because he's going to be left out in an island somewhere all alone and he's going to get burned. So Robert Jones is depth. It's not a huge loss right now. Let's just be honest right now. It's only a huge loss if in the first couple of weeks, 3 guards go down. And then you need Robert Jones. He wasn't starting at right tackle. He wasn't even in the mix to start at left guard. Are you listening to me? Are you listening? He wasn't even in the mix. Okay? So he's got no shot at starting, but he was definitely good depth that you have because he did a serviceable job last year. So you could get by. It's 4 to 6 weeks. 2 of them are without the season. So what's he going to miss? The first month? It's not the end of the world, dude. There was this whole reaction all over the place. And I'm like, they're deep at that spot. They've got a lot of guards. They're fine. The Cotton guys looked actually good. Wynn actually played well this week. They're fine, dude. They've got depth. They're good at guard. So this actually might buy you some time to look at another guy that you might be able to hold on for a couple of extra weeks because you can put this guy on the IR. Put him on the PUP list or whatever the hell however they circumvent it so he doesn't count against the roster spot at the moment. So it buys you a month of trying out another lineman for a month. It actually becomes a slight blessing in disguise, to be quite honest. Okay? So unless there's a run of injuries in the first couple of weeks at guard, that's the only reason why this would be a huge loss. If not, it's one you can overcome. Not you want, because we definitely don't want Robert Jones out because he can do a serviceable job, but you can overcome it. So let's relax. Haven't heard anything yet on A-Chain. Have you seen anything lately on A-Chain there, Sean? Haven't seen anything on the shoulder injury, which kind of tells me that it might be a little bit more serious than what we thought. So I'm going to wait. We'll see. I don't know what the injury is for Eichenberg. We'll find out now as the week starts and they get it going. The coach will talk at noon. Okay. You can expect Poupart and Marcel's interviews to drop in the afternoon. We will get them after we talk to the coach. We'll do that. So you'll get it all on the platform. Ira Winderman's interview will be dropping very soon. We did it this morning. So that'll be dropping very soon on the platform, and you can catch that also on the platform here. So you got that going on. What else do we have going on in the world of deportes? Do want to remind you, of course, Cutter's Edge Pro, a proud sponsor of our program. Call Will or Mike at 954-472-0622. That's 954-472-0622. And let me tell you something. We like talking about our Cutter's Edge Pro MVP of the night. Let's get into it. I got a Cutter's Edge Pro MVP of the night.
Who's last night's MVP? For your complete landscape solutions anywhere in South Florida, there's only one MVP. CuttersEdgePro.com. Here's our CuttersEdgePro.com MVP of the night.
Saturday night, Inter Miami CF won the League's Cup. They defeated Nashville in a shootout. Messi did have a goal. Then we gave up a goal, and they tied, and so we went to a shootout, and it went all the way to the 11th round, which got down to the keepers. Okay? And I think it was so apropos on Saturday night for it to all end on Drake Callender. And we've talked about Drake Callender here in the past. I will continue to talk about Drake Callender because we all know Messi's the most important player on the pitch. But the second most important player is Drake Callender. Without Drake Callender, I don't know if you win this tournament. All right? I don't know if you're this good without Drake Callender. He has been the best find for Mr. Henderson and company since this franchise began. When we talk about Cremaschi is looking good and he's developing, he had a great night on Saturday. 0 turnovers in that kind of a game where he was just, I mean, beautiful. He was the bridge to everything that was going on Saturday night. And that's a youngin' to be playing at that level, you know. And there's some other guys, some young guys like Ruiz, and they've had their moments and things like that. But Drake Callender has been just an absolute freaking stud. And again, he made a couple of big-time saves in the match. And then he made the save. Then he made 2 saves. Not 1, 2 saves in the shootout, including the final one against Snoopy's co-pilot, and that was awesome. That was Snoopy's co-pilot, by the way. I had no idea. You know, we were talking about, Robert Jones being a backup. You know, I didn't know that Snoopy actually had a backup pilot. And definitely the goalie for Nashville was the back. That's Snoopy's co-pilot right there. But I got to give Drake Callender the MVP because it's too easy to give it to Lionel Messi. But I got to give it to the second most important player on the pitch, night in and night out. He was the most important player on this team before Messi got here. Those of us that follow the team, I know some of you are bandwagoners and you're just on now, but those of us that have been following it for the last year, Drake Callender has been an absolute stud since he took the job from Marsman. I mean, they never looked back. Like the second he took over, you knew right away Marsman was never getting his job after a couple games because you go, dude, this young guy can play. And he's got great instincts, man. We talk about a lack of instincts for some players. That guy does not lack them back there. Wow, he has been phenomenal. And if you hire William Quigley and company at Cutter's Edge Pro to improve your home, your business, by the way, it also raises the value of your home or your business, which is huge if you're thinking of selling down the line. And, of course, it just creates, like what we have in our backyard. We have now an oasis in our backyard where we get to hang out, even on hot days. That big, beautiful palm tree reigns supreme in our backyard. And it gives us shade, and it brings everything down 20 degrees, 25 degrees. And it's a beautiful thing, man. Cutter's Edge Pro, folks. Irrigation, design, and build, landscaping, tree trimming, removals. We're in the middle of hurricane season, and maintenance. Maintenance is so important. And maybe you've got some landscaping, but it's, kind of lost its edge. Well, get the Cutter's Edge, baby. You need the edge? You call Cutter's Edge. Call William and Mike. They'll get it done for you, man. 954-472-0622. Drake Callender, our Cutter's Edge MVP of the night.
The MVP of the night is brought to you by CuttersEdgePro.com. Servicing HOAs, condominiums, townhomes, commercial properties, corporate parks, and malls throughout South Florida. CuttersEdgePro.com. Providing South Florida MVP performance every day of the year.
All right. Don't forget, folks, you can make a donation through Cash App or Venmo. at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. I see Jamie Zorria out in San Jose's number one in, Brian Walters in, JG Long, John Padilla, Jonathan Dill, JC Norville in Colorado Springs. Brian Walters reminds everybody to smash the like button. And don't forget, subscribe to Big O Radio Show Live. This is Big O Radio Show. Just add live to it. Big O Radio Show Live. And guess where the live show will be starting tomorrow? There at Big O Radio Show Live. So please make sure you subscribe because we're going live there starting tomorrow. Just the live show, okay? Everything else will drop here. Everything else. Dolphins pre and post game will be here. Breaking news will be here. All the interviews will be here. In fact, the Ira Winderman interview will drop soon. You'll get that later on. Jay Gelfin is in. Gus 1388. Emilio, Andy Jackson, Lisa Rose, Isaiah Fitzgerald is checking in from Naples. When I grow up, I want to be you, Fitz. Let's see. Alex is in. Steven Gonzalez, Steve Chapman. Just buy more dong. Just farted. Miami Breakers 305. Weapon X United. Brian Landis. Dima is in Germany. Nice. Harley, Adam Sadowski. I like that Marlins logo, Adam. That's pretty cool, dude. Nice job by you. Alexander Renee Davis, No One Drummer, Greg Sporton Wood. Have you heard any word on the Ingold injury? Feel he's very important to the offense. No, I have not. I have not. Remember, the coach talks at noon, so we will have all of that in the afternoon. We'll have everything on the injuries from the coach. We'll have Poupart. We'll have Marcel. So, come back to the platform and you'll get those interviews and we'll talk about all those injuries. So we'll keep you updated on all of that. Let's see what else. Duke Tomlinson, Alexander in, GP Trap in, Luis Medina. I believe Inter will run the table and win the MLS title. I hope so. It's a lot to do, but it's a lot to ask. Omar Lopez. Andy Jackson says, not sure what they call it. Hamburger Helper does pretty good on its own. Okay. Going to Lima, Peru for vacation. Nice. Good for you. Oh, they've had their issues with their presidency and all that kind of stuff over in Peru, right? Is it Peru where they're having some issues with that stuff? Jim Gleason is in. Thank you, sir. Appreciate very, very nice of you. Kind words. Thank you. Ray Grullon is in. William Troy. Big O, I know you have touched on the Finns' experiments with wide receivers such as Eazy-E. Do you think the reason why Miami is not focusing on tight end in the traditional way, if they are transitioning to a new way to use the tight end? Well, Jim, I've talked about this already. And with getting Higgy with it and with Tanner Connor, he was trying to create an off-the-line tight end that is a playmaker. But getting Higgy with it has not been consistent, right? And so he has talent. And then the other kid, Tanner Connor, has been injured. So, he has too many injuries for a guy that never plays, by the way. So that never really developed. So now you're Tyler Croft, Eric Saubert, who got banged up, and Durham Smythe combination becomes just a blocker that's a serviceable tight end. They want to get a dynamic guy, but, and that's why maybe they'll keep an extra running back, because this experiment is not working. And if anything, with those two guys, maybe they'll end up on the practice squad, but I don't think you spent a roster spot on Tanner Connor last year, and you spent it to try to develop him, and what's he doing? And so you wasted your time last year holding the roster spot when the dude can't even perform now. And maybe they love him so much that they'll hang on again. But, yeah, right now You don't expect huge playmaking stuff coming out of that position. It's going to be up to the receivers and the running backs and the quarterback to kind of get it done, to be quite honest. Let's see what else. True Fin Fan farted again. Devin Jordan is in. Big O, if the offensive line holds, we will make some major noise. Amen to that, Ronaldo. Amen to that. Pat in Asheville is there. He says, Mary Elizabeth Winstead in green. Can't wait to see Ashoka. Me too. Me too. I keep playing the Campana video. Oh, my God. Yeah, poor kid. Poor kid, bro. Hey, but he made his PK at least, okay? The thing that the amazing part is that what's it called? He maintained his composure for all that stuff at least. You know what I'm saying? So it was good for him. And he didn't get injured. Jermaine is in. He's a Jermel Charlo fan. Is that what you're going with, Jermel Charlo? Is that your guy? Kyle Cockrell is in. Troy Ortiz. Inter's going to be resting players on Wednesday. They've played a lot of games the last couple of weeks. Troy, they're going to go for the cup, bro. They're going to go for it's really important to win right now. And send a message to those MLS teams so when you do see them in the regular season or in the playoffs, if you make it, you know what I'm saying? So will they – I think they'll play, and maybe, it might be a little bit of both. It might be where Messi doesn't play 90 minutes. Maybe he only plays 60, and you're in control. You know what I'm saying? So, but I think they'll play, dude. I think they'll play. I think they want to win. They need to start setting a winning trend, and that's what it's all about. They got the offseason to rest. So, yeah, I think they're going to play. Alexander says, I saw an article and I didn't believe it, but apparently there are experts that believe the Dolphins are in talks for Jonathan Taylor. Who, bro? Who said it? Who said it, Alexander? Who's the legitimate person that said it so I can then rip them, please? I want to know, who are they? What source? Was it Schefter? Or was it some slapdick from Yardbarker? What was it? Some fan from a Dolphin site? Some fan from a Colt site? What was it? I'd like to know. And let me ask you something. Why would you read somebody doing that when they don't pay running backs and they are not going to trade for running backs? Like, we're going to do this shit again? I think I taught everybody a lesson already on the Dalvin Cook thing. Like, who reported that? Anybody with real legitimate name. Who reported that? That's what I'd like to know. You don't believe it, but you write it and send it to me as a question. But you don't believe it. Mike Honcho is in. Chad is in. Andy Jackson is in. Think Dodgers Blue is in. Duck Dog is in. Nyborg is in. Vivinetti, Ceballos, Thomason. Thank you all. Big O ask, Christian Wood. Christian Sporting Wood. I would love to see him here. The problem is, apparently, he's super lazy. And that's why I think he hasn't been here. And that's why maybe Miami hasn't made the move, because he is a talent, bro. He's got skills. But apparently he has a shit reputation as a guy that gives lack of effort and practice. Think about that. Can you be a Heat player that actually doesn't put in work? No, you can't. So maybe that's why he's still out there. Put it this way. There's no reason anybody with Christian Wood's ability to be available in free agency. None. There's an indictment on your ass. That's why you're available, dude. Because people think you're a freaking dog. No, I'm sorry. People are convinced you're a dog. I don't need to ask Ira. I already found out. I already know what the hell's going on with him. He's got a shit reputation, dude. That tells you why. Anybody that watches basketball and has watched Christian Wood, and you know basketball, you know what I'm talking about. Christian Wood, bro, the good Lord blessed him with ability that few have. But if you have no heart to put in the work, you can't do anything about it. So the Heat hasn't brought Christian Wood in because Christian Wood doesn't have a heart. He needs to go see the Wizard. That's your answer, my man. Just tuning in now. For whatever reason, I'm not able to get to the Big O Radio Show cuts. No. Big O Radio Show Live. Big O Radio Show Live. We had to create a whole new channel. The cuts couldn't go. The cuts is tied to this channel. We had to do like a separate account and everything. It's just a mess, dude. It freaking sucks. I've had to adjust my entire life in this business. From faxing to emails to social media to, digital platforms to everything that we're doing. And YouTube has thrown us another curve and screwing content creators. And so the live show has to have its own channel now because of the algorithms to it compared to everything else. So this is why we have to adjust on the fly. The link is there, by the way. Okay? The link is there. In fact, there you go. Put it again. I just posted it again. So there's the link. Big O Radio Show Live. Click it and subscribe. Anybody can subscribe to it right now. Hit the notification bell, all that good stuff. Maybe I'll put a short up or something when I'm done here. Chris Greer needs to come to the conclusion that Noah is a wasted draft pick. You hit some, you miss some. That's how the draft works. Yeah, we already know that, Jonathan Dill. He's not under contract anymore, where last year he was on only because of a salary. This year he's gone. And by the way, you hit on all, miss on one, Jonathan Dill. Okay? All right? X and Fitz and Holland and Brandon Jones and Cam Smith looks like a freaking winner from the get-go. And then you find Nick Needham off the street and Kohu off the street, and I think Trill is also going to help out. You hit on all, miss on one. Let's make sure we get that shit straight. Because some of you guys out there like to you lean on Noah so much, and you mention Chris Greer, you sound fucking stupid. Okay? Seriously. Because you try to make it a backhanded shot when the man is a killer in the secondary. He's a flat-out killer in the secondary. Noah's the only one that's a mess. Outside of that, they absolutely kill it picking players in the secondary, dude. They kill it overall. I mean, it's a great team. It's the best team we've had since the early 90s. So enough's enough already, bro. Stop leaning on the whole Noah thing. Dizzy says, my wife is from Peru. There you go. Checking in from Guyana, South America. Bromar is in. Nizzle is in. Ray Sosa. I can't imagine all the scrutiny Campana would have gotten if Inter lost. Yeah. He was your star, and now he comes off the bench. That's how deep they are. Devon A-Chain shot like a bat out of hell in that long run. Holy cow. Yeah, I know. Looks like he banged that shoulder up good, too. Razzle Dazzle Crypto in the house. And Milo says, I'm really starting to like the Brooks kid. Yeah. So much that you might have to keep him. They might reduce Messi's time Wednesday, but I think they're all in on winning. Oh, yeah, bro. They want to win the U.S. Open Cup trophy for sure. For sure. Yes. Let's see. G. Reed, what happened? I don't know. Karoon, Miami has a better chance of getting Jason Taylor from retirement. Exactly. You should start requiring links to these. I read articles. Oh, yeah, I know. It's just, shared it on Twitter. Okay, let's see. Renee shared it on Twitter. Or X, right? As they say. Let's see. Where are we at? Where is it? I don't see it here. Did you send it DM? No? I don't see it, buddy. I do not see it. I don't know. If you sent it to me on Twitter, I did not see it. Let's see. Okay. Thank you, Pat in Asheville. I appreciate you. Thank you, sir. Very nice of you. We'll party in Vegas. Thank you. That wasn't for the ticket, by the way. I'm still looking for the general admission ticket. That was for something else that he invited me to. Thank you. Sean's not going. Don't worry about it. Sean's not. It's only me. Sean doesn't go to those things. Let's see what else. I didn't see it, by the way. I didn't see who posted it. I asked you, just give me, is it a legitimate name? Somebody that breaks. Folks, if you're getting news, do they actually really break news? Like the person that's giving you so-called news, have you gone to that person before for real breaking news? Real breaking news? No? So then why would you go to them in the first place? Why would you repeat anything they say? Why would you retweet it? Why? Because you're a fanatic and you can't help yourself? Is that it? It's like a drug? Thomas Cook is in from Oklahoma. Yeah. Oh, man. What else do we have? Big O. Anthony Edwards is a stud. It's a shame that he plays for the lousy team, but he signed $260 million for 5 years. Not too shabby. And then soon, next year, he'll complain after this year, and then he'll force a trade. And he'll take his money with him. Yeah, David Long was all over the field, Brett. I agree. He was a good pickup, man. Greer hits about 80% of his draft picks, but let's focus on misses. Who bats 1,000? Who bats? Bro, he bats like seriously, like 60%. If you bat 50 in the draft, 50, you're a badass. He's in the 60 percentile. Not 50, not 50, not 51, not 52, not 55, not 57, not even 60. He's like 63 or 64. I mean, it's stupid. The percentage. Stupid. It's ridiculous. And then you add the street free agents. My God, they find people every year under these guys. This year, Peely, Brooks look like guys that you should keep on your roster. Agude looks like a guy that you could keep on your roster. Miller looks like a guy that might stick on your roster or somebody else's roster. I'm missing another guy that's another young guy that has made an impact. And I'm forgetting, that's undrafted. It is freaking crazy what these people do. It's the best roster since the early 90s. And we get people to complain about Greer. It's just, You heard my rant last week, right? It just makes no sense at this point. It makes none. It's now up to McDaniel, dude. He's got a roster. Win now. Get it done. Big O Tua throws interception. People start going nuts. The kid hasn't even played in 7 months. Give him a freaking break. He was awesome. I'm glad he threw the interception. I'm glad they played like shit at the beginning because it was a nice wake-up call, and then they responded like studs. Man, Skyler was awesome. Skyler was a lot of fun to watch, man. He was in control. That was good, dude. He played like a guy that has experience and is playing against backups, and you're supposed to kick their ass, and he kicked their ass. It's a good sign, bro. It's a really good sign. The O-line assessment looked pretty good, man. Looked pretty good to me. Hey, you all, I'm an idiot. I'm having trouble finding the new channel. Bro, Mike, the link, I already put it there. I put it on the subscriber thing. Look, I'm putting it again. Now it's on there again. I just posted it again. I've posted the link 3 times on the chat board. It's there. Hit the link. It'll take you to it directly. Okay? See that once it starts having traffic, then it'll be a lot easier to be found and all that kind of stuff. Okay? It's still Twitter, will always be Twitter. Yeah. That's how we look at it. Josh Greenwell says Miami Dolphins' weaknesses are much harder to find this year. Yes, sir. Mr. Chicago says, does Chosen make the catch Cedric Wilson dropped? Well, Chosen dropped the pass, bro. He dropped the pass that he should have caught in the middle of the field also. Does Cedric Wilson make the catch that Chosen didn't make? Just checking. Let's see. It's funny how you remember Cedric Wilson's drop, but you don't remember Chosen's drop. Okay. You send me the article and the messages. Yeah, but you're still not telling me who wrote it. You like the person's such an unknown that you can't even. I've asked you who wrote. Like I asked you who reported it, and you never put the name. It shows you how much that guy's a nobody because you can't even remember the name. And I asked like several times. You could have easily posted the person's name. And instead, you just keep like, okay, no, I sent you this. Just give me the goddamn name. Big O, after you got guys like Pete saying that Skyler will take over by week 4 is better than Tua. I don't know who's that and don't really care. What's most impressive so far is how well Miami is running the ball. Exactly. Well, and he dedicated himself to it. I'm talking about Mike McDaniel because I was pissed last year that McDaniel abandoned the running game. Ahmed looked very good. Ahmed always looks good, bro. Ahmed always does his job. Nobody should ever be questioning Salvon Ahmed. Anybody that questions Salvon Ahmed does not pay attention. It's pretty simple. Every time you gave Salvon Ahmed the ball last year, he was prepared. So I was not surprised that he kicked ass on Saturday night. That kid always looks good, dude. Always. Every single time. It's like clockwork, you know? Let's see. NFLanalysis.net. Who the fuck is NFLanalysis.net? Seriously. Kenneth Teep. Who the fuck is Kenneth Teep? That's your problem, dude. That's your problem. You're wasting my time with Kenneth Teep. Bien conocido en su casa. What is wrong with you people? Like, there are legitimate NFL people out there that cover the league, that actually break stories. Who the hell knows Kenneth Teep to break? He breaks wind, not stories. This is why you couldn't put the name, because who's Kenneth Teep? We just gave Kenneth Teep the most publicity he's ever gotten in his entire life right here on this platform. Nobody, not even in his fucking house, they know who Kenneth Teep is. He walks in, and every day they think he's an intruder. My God, folks. You know. Kenneth Teep. Yeah. Yep, Kendall Lamb has looked good. Yeah, I had some idiot over the weekend Kendall Lamb's been on 4 teams already in 4 years. And so what, bro? You obviously don't follow football. Linemen take a while to develop. Sometimes they bounce around, and then they figure it out. It happens all the time. Defensive tackles happens all the time. Running backs usually don't bounce around. Usually when you get drafted, 9 out of 10 times you're either it or you're not, and you're gone. You know, the Stephen Davises of the world are very rare. But offensive linemen, we've had offensive linemen be busts here and then go somewhere else and actually have a serviceable career. You know, Billy Hunter's one. What's that other guy that they got in the 3rd round that was a bust? But then he went to the Giants, went to a couple places. It was a serviceable lineman for them. Jerry something. I think it's Jerry, if I'm correct. But like, yeah, I mentioned Billy Turner, but there's another one. Damn it, bro. He played for the John Jerry. There you go. Thank you. There you go. Alexander, there you go. That's strong contribution there. It makes up for TP. I think this is the most deepest O-line we've had in a while. Yes, I agree. Sometimes it takes linemen it takes them a while. And maybe Kendall Lamb found the right coach, the right system, but he's looked really good. I mean, last week they told him take it off. That's strong, dude. That's really, really strong. By the way, Craig Zinn's Acura Pembroke Pines, a proud sponsor of our program. And right now, folks, they've got the Summer of Performance event going on. They've got 3.9% financing going on for 36 months. We'll be there this Friday broadcasting live. They've got a fleet of certified pre-owned vehicles. You got to check them out. They got a service center that is second to none, baby. And Mike Chan, Jordan Ferber, they do an awesome job, so please visit at 15601 Pines Boulevard, just off of I-75 in Pines. Finest dealership in the business, baby. It is Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. And later on this afternoon, the Acura Pembroke Pines Miami Heat and NBA report with Ira Winderman will be dropping here on the platform, and you can catch that. Oh, what's going on with special teams? There's look, that's the only change I would have made. Okay. I didn't have to fire Josh Boyer. Okay. But when you could get Vic Fangio, you have to fire Josh Boyer. But the guy that I would have made the change with would have been Danny Cross. To me, that was the real weakness. At least with Josh Boyer, like I said, dude, his entire secondary was injured. It's hard to play defense without a secondary. You know what I'm saying? So he had a built-in excuse, and yet that defense really didn't cost them games, actually. Kept them in all the games. Special teams was a disaster last year. Now, it hasn't been sharp here, but in the preseason, there's so much mixing and matching up and experimenting that I can't judge them right now. So I'm going to hold off on judging Danny Crossman because maybe this week I can judge him for a half because he'll have his starting units out there, and let's see what happens. You know what I'm saying? But we're going to have to wait till the regular season to see if that unit has improved and if Danny Crossman's got his shit straight. But right now we can't make a legitimate assessment of what's going on with special teams. But I'm with you. I'm concerned. Okay? I'm concerned until Danny Crossman shows me that I don't have to be concerned. So I have the same concerns as all of you about that special teams unit. Okay? Let's just take a moment of silence to recognize the passing of those 2 minutes we just lost of life discussing that amazing article. The TP article. Seriously, folks, if you're watching or listening to somebody and they never break news, why would you listen to them about any breaking news? You know what I'm saying? It's just the way it is. So if they don't break news, why would they all of a sudden start? No, they just need to invent shit. Like all these YouTubers that you guys follow out there that, you know, they tell you they're insiders when they're just like you. They're fans and they're guessing. They have no insight. They break no stories. They know nobody in the league. They're in the stands. They're not on the field. They're not talking to players and coaches and scouts and agents, and they have no access. What, they're sitting somewhere because some bogus site gave them a job to write an article for content? But they don't break any stories, dude. So follow, at least for breaking stories, go with people that actually break news. That's all. If they have a history, then okay. If they have no history, then makes no sense. This just in, Dalvin Cook will be traded to the Dolphins for a 10th round draft pick and promises to sign a $75K contract. Also, Taylor will be traded to Miami for an 11th round draft pick. I like it. I like it. Look, even Big O has bounced around, but now he's at the top of his game. Yeah, thank God. Not fun to bounce around, I'll tell you that. It's just a shitty business. They just don't treat people right. And then when you do well, they don't really reward you the right way. And sometimes they reward the wrong people. And sometimes they just want people that will play their game. That's just not me. I'm not a puppet, bro. You know, you got to learn to be a puppet to stay in radio. And I'm just not a puppet, unfortunately. There's a lot of farts here, says Brett Dodgers. Yes, there is. Keeping a special teams coach, isn't that on my? Yes, it is. It is. So what do you want to do, Finsruel? You want to fire Mike McDaniel? Because he's done such a terrible job? We do know that human beings are not perfect, right? You know what I'm saying? So Mike McDaniel's a young coach. He built a pretty good staff, had to tweak it this offseason, and maybe he'll have to tweak it again. You know, that happens. Mario Cristobal came in as an experienced coach, unlike Mike McDaniel, and he had to tweak the hell out of his staff after 1 year. We're all human beings, bro. We're all going to make mistakes. We're not all going to make the perfect decisions, but you have to judge people by their overall body of work. And the overall body of work of Mike McDaniel is exceptional. So you got to deal with some of the good and some of the bad. It's like, you know what? It's like me trying to choose what president I pick every 4 years. Do I like this Democrat? Do I like this Republican? I can't say independent because they never have one, but because I don't care. I'm not a Democrat or Republican. I don't give a shit about the two parties. So, but do I end up picking any candidate that likes everything and wants to do everything I want to do? Never. So I'm always going to pick a candidate that there's going to be things I don't like about that candidate. But okay, it's the best candidate I think it is. So I'm going to go with this one. This time around, I'm going to pick this Republican. This time around, I'm going to pick this Democrat. Well, here you go. I like Mike McDaniel. Is he perfect? No. Did I think he should have stuck with the running game last year? Yeah, and I said it over and over again. And he apologized for it this offseason. Way to go. Do I like that he kept Danny Crossman? No. Do I want to fire him for that? No. I'm not like some of you idiots out there. Oh, I'm going to hang on Noah Igbenogany and Austin Jackson, so Chris Grier sucks. Wow, you sound really stupid. Because Chris Grier has done an ass-kicking job. But you want to worry about Noah Igbenogany and Austin Jackson. You know, I can't help some of you out there. Life isn't perfect, man. You know what I mean? And by the way, those of you that get married, you know, nothing's perfect either, right? It's just kind of the way it is. Nothing's ever perfect. Your job, is it perfect? Most of you don't even like your jobs. But even if you like the job, is it perfect? No. So let's not get crazy. Pat in Nashville says, Kenneth Tipi Tapa quotes anonymous former NFL executive that spoke to NFL Analysis Network. LOL. Yeah, it's that guy doesn't know anybody in the NFL. Okay. I know more people in the NFL 25 years ago when I first stepped onto some practice field in the Las Vegas Football Classic or the East West Shrine or something like that compared to this guy 25 years ago. Not now. 25 years ago, I had more contacts than that guy did when I was a newbie in the business. Anyone watch the Bills Pitt Saturday? They looked like trash and were forced to keep their starters in for the entire first half. They have zero depth and concerns everywhere. Yeah, they didn't look good, by the way. I agree. Jim Gleason says, agree, Big O. There's a difference between imperfect and substandard. Mike McDaniel's exceptional and just imperfect. Danny Crossman is substandard and unacceptable regardless of the talent. Well, that's what he looked like last year, Jim. And let's see what he does this year. Because I was not impressed with Danny Crossman at all. At all. So, yes, I am concerned about that. That one I'm concerned about. But again, you know, McDaniel has to do what he has to do. And if he thinks that maybe all the injuries took away from his units, maybe that's the case. And maybe we're wrong, you know? And maybe they're wrong, okay? They called me crazy on the Eichenberg thing. Oh, you don't know what you're talking about, oh. They told me just like that. And, you know, when they tell me that, when professionals tell me that, you know, it's hard for me to argue with them. You know what I'm saying? With you guys, I can argue, but with, pro, I can't argue with them. I can only come back after the fact and say, so what'd you tell me about the Eichenberg thing again? So, you know, I have to wait for the failure for then I have ammo. But we'll see. We shall see. Isaiah says special team is really important. I saw the Patriots lose last year on punt return to end of the game. Yep. Who starts opposite of X? I think Cam, they get him healthy and he starts. I think Cater inside. I think that's what's going to end up happening. Cam will be the outside guy. Cater will be inside. Cater fits very well inside. His athleticism is absolutely fantastic. His strength, his tackling ability, and his hips. He's got great hips. He can change directions, and you need to have that inside the slot. He can play the position. So I would put Cater inside, and Cam will be on the outside. What about Mr. Perfect? Sean knows. Who's Mr. Perfect? Is that a wrestler? Is there a wrestler called Mr. Perfect? Is that what it is?
Yes, he passed away, Mr. Perfect. Kurt Hennig. He used to do everything flawlessly. He was just hitting three-pointers, half-court shots, threw a perfect spiral pass and caught it himself 60 yards downfield. I mean, he was just perfect.
Okay. All right. Mr. Perfect. All right. Kind of like Mr. Wonderful, right? Although he's not so wonderful lately. He's kind of flopped a lot with the whole crypto stuff. By the way, where's my crypto market? How bad is it right now? What's going on? How much are we hurting? Let's see. Still over 26,000. We're fine. ETH over almost 1,700. Not bad. H-bar almost at 2% up. H-bar has been dying to move since that deal with the government. My God, what a great move. What a great buying zone Polygon is in right now in the 57-cent range. My God, that's a gift right now. Not a financial advisor, just a guy that likes crypto. Immutable X in the 60-cent range is a fucking steal. ADA at 26 cents is a steal. Cosmos at $7.60 is a steal. Avalanche at $10.50 is a freaking steal. Polkadot at $4.46 is a steal. Decentraland at 30 cents, absolute steal. God, there's some good things. You know, I told you about Alethea Intelligence token, okay? Back last year, I don't know what it was, July, August, whatever, and it was at 0.8 of a penny, 0.008 of a penny, right? And it got to 9 pennies. So it practically 10 times over. Now it's gone, after all these dips, it's gone back down to 1.6 cents. To me, it's in a monster buying zone. Okay. Alethea Liquid Intelligence Token. The code is Ali. And right now, 1.6, 1.7 cents. I think it's an absolute steal. I am now myself loading up big time. It already went to 9 cents. So think about it. And it's going to go past 9 cents on the next run. By the way, Mark Cuban is part owner of this company. You know, just want to tell you that. That's all. You know, I gave you Injective Protocol also last year when it was at $1.40. No, it was at, $1.43. I gave it to you. Okay. Injective Protocol. And Injective Protocol, even with all the dips, it's down 4% today. It's at $7.60. And I gave it to you at $1.44 back in August. A year ago. It's August. A year ago, I gave you Injective Protocol. And even with all the dips, it's down as to 764. I'm not telling you it's in a buying zone. I'm just telling you, I'm sure those of you, when it went up to $9, I would hope you took a lot of profits like I did. But my point is, this thing's going to make when the next bull run starts, Injective Protocol is going to explode. I mean, it is probably the strongest coin in the entire crypto market outside of Bitcoin throughout all this volatility. It's been amazing, man. Amazing. All right, let's take a quick break. 1 hour down. Back with more right here on the Big O Radio Show, powered by the one and only, mastered by the one and only Sean Stanley.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special report.
Miles an hour, that's a Category 4 hurricane. 3 deaths are reported in Florida after more than 24 were killed in the Caribbean. This
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zins Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zins Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
Hialeah Park Casino is turning 10, and we're bringing you an anniversary bash like never before. See a million, win a million. Join us every Saturday in August, where 10 lucky customers will have a chance to take home $1 million. Snap a selfie with $1 million in cash, post it on social media, and get ready to win even more fantastic prizes. Come to Hialeah Park Casino's 10th anniversary celebration and make history with us. When you see a million, win a million.
Oh, great. You have a doorbell camera. Now you have a front row seat to your house getting robbed.
They're breaking into my house!
Ooh, there goes the TV. I'm sure it'll turn up at the pawn shop.
No, not the TV!
Just because you can see them, that doesn't mean you can stop them. With Slogans, you get 24-hour monitoring, a free home security system, and professional installation. Plus, free doorbell camera, one that'll actually work for you.
Get out of my house! Get out of the house!
Call 1-800-ALARM-ME.
The viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
Hey, alrighty. Appreciate you all out there, folks. And by the way, my guy Ronnie is just absolutely amazing. Boca Jaw Surgery. If you are looking for any kind of surgery in your mouth, from bridges to all kinds of replacements, whatever you need to do with your mouth, okay, they can do it. Maybe a tooth removal, reconstructive surgery, Boca Jaw Surgery, man. My guy Ronnie Katz does an awesome job, and a great sponsor of our program and our platform. So please visit and visit the great sponsors to keep us out here doing our thing every single day. By the way, a couple of news and notes starting in September. Anthony Chang will be joining our platform. He'll be on twice a week. Safid Deen also will be joining us twice a week. USA Today, Dolphins, NFL reporter, and Messi reporter too, by the way, because they've got him doing all the Messi games. So we'll add a Messi insider also with Safid Deen. So we'll do a little Dolphins and a little football with Safid Deen. So those guys will be added to the platform. Also, at the end of September, Sean and myself will be in Las Vegas for Showtime. We'll be covering the Canelo fight. Looking forward to that. Jermall Charlo. I always want to say, like, I'm not used to Jermall. That's not a name I'm used to. Jermall Charlo. Anyway, so he'll be taking on what's it called? Canelo Alvarez, and we will be there for that fight. And also U2 opens up their tour there too. So if you happen to live in Vegas, or you happen to have an extra, general admission ticket to the Sphere, I'd like to go. And I'll buy it. I'm not asking for a freebie or anything. I'll buy the ticket. But if you have an extra, definitely would like to go. I got to work on that now. So we'll see. The 10th linebacker on Miami's depth chart would start for Buffalo. Solo Breezy says, Grand Rising, Big O. I hope you have an amazing day. Thank you, sir. Fitzgerald Grass says, Big O, does the team need to finish in the top 10 rushing December and January games maybe in cold weather. They just need to run the ball, man, and have success. And they need to stick to it. It's very important. Tua will become a much more dangerous, like any quarterback, becomes a more dangerous passer when you're able to run the ball. So please run the shit out of the ball. And you're going to be, that's why Tyreek is not getting 2,000 yards. That's why I laughed when he said it. And I told you when he said it, he's full of shit. You know what I mean? Because they're going to run the ball more. They're going to spread it out more to different people. And then I was hoping that the offline tight end would add a little bit more, but it doesn't look like the offline tight end is going to add anything right now, at least. Fire Moon 37 says Stellar, the big talk at pickleball. Stellar's good. I have no problem with Stellar. They've got they seem to be a strong company. I was in Stellar early on when I was in crypto early on a few years back, but I got out of it. Kind of a slow grower. Plus, there's a lot of competition with XRP and a couple of other coins that are kind of doing the same thing. And so that's why I kind of stayed out of Stellar. But I can see it growing. There's no doubt. It is setting itself up. Jasmy is still, it's in a great buying zone right now. Like everything's in a dip. Outside of Injective Protocol, everything's in a dip. And right now, Jasmy's in a really nice buying zone if you haven't bought any Jasmy. I got a lot of Jasmy, so I'm kind of good. And the price range I have it's not right now where I can lower my price range, so that it has to go a little lower for me to buy. So I'm not buying yet. But I love it right now. It's in a buying zone for anybody that wants. Now that's more of a gamble. Like, Star Atlas and Jasmy are two gambles that I have. I like them a lot, but I like them knowing that I'm taking a major, like, I don't feel I'm gambling with Polygon or Avalanche or Cosmos at all, even though it is much more of a risk than Bitcoin and Ethereum. But I feel so great about those companies. I think they're going to grow to be monsters, right? Whereas Star Atlas and Jasmy, two of my long plays and obviously long shots, they have the potential, but again, it's way more risky than anything else that I'm investing in. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of the way I look at it. It's three levels. The sure level, which is Bitcoin and Ethereum. That's why I always tell you, right? I say, hey, you invest 100% of your pie, right? 40% in Bitcoin, 30% in Ethereum, and then the 10, 10, and 10, you go with altcoins. Hey, this week I'm going to put it in a Polygon and Cardano and Ethereum. What's it called? Cosmos. And then next week, that 30%, I'll put 10 of it in Avalanche and 10 of it into Alethea and 10 of it into HBAR, something like that. That's how I would always break it down. You know what I mean? But I would always, like I always said, not as financial advisor, just a guy that likes crypto. Whatever your 100% pie is, $100, $500, $5,000, $50,000, 40% into Bitcoin, 30% into Ethereum, 10, 10, and 10. And those 10, 10, and 10, I would break it up all the time and rotate different altcoins. So you diversify your portfolio, but you diversify a smaller portion of your portfolio, and the bigger portion is going to be carried by Amazon and Tesla and Microsoft and those money stocks. That's what Ethereum and Bitcoin is. Those are the money stocks. Those things are going to grow to kingdom come. The other ones, it's a level of gamble. That's kind of what's going on. Hey, by the way, congratulations to Sha'Carri Richardson. I got to give her a lot of love because Sha'Carri, she won the 100 meters this weekend in the 2023 World Athletic Championships in Budapest. And I watch a lot of track and field, men and women. I really enjoy it. I actually enjoy it. But I want to congratulate her because, I saw her interview after, and, she's like, oh, I'm not worried about, the expectations of the world. I've seen the world be my friend and be my enemy and all that. And that's kind of a weak excuse on her part, but that's all right. If she wants to play it that way, she can play it that way. But I want to give her credit because I've watched her over the last couple of months grow. She's still young, obviously. We're all young. Hell, I'm old and I still make stupid mistakes. But she didn't handle adversity well a year ago. She acted like a punk a lot of times. She, even when would lose a race, she would diss the winner. And she got heavily criticized after that because she was becoming a darling. And then after she acted like an asshole, people were like turned off by that. You know what I'm saying? Because, Florence Griffith Joyner or Jackie Joyner Kersey or any of the great athletes that we had in the past, they didn't act like that. And she kind of acted like a punk. But I want to give Sha'Carri a little love because I've watched her lose races lately too. Okay, I watched her lose about a month and a half ago. She lost a race, and she acted like a champ, which was a real growing up moment for Sha'Carri. And I know most of you don't give a shit about track and field and all that kind of stuff. I enjoy the hell out of track and field. I think it's impressive. It's like watching thoroughbreds. And she's got a world of talent, man. And in the 100 meters, she should be, 1 or 2. Okay, she's got some stiff competition, but she's got every opportunity. She already ran a 10.79 this year. She ran a 10.9 over the weekend. But my love to Sha'Carri is props to you in growing up, young lady, because I've watched you now handle adversity a lot better, and I think that that's cool. What's not cool is if you lose a race and you're making excuses and you're dissing the person that won the race like they got lucky or whatever. They tried to make something about her finishing this weekend, and she kind of put up her fingers right before she ended, which I had no problem with that, dude. You can show off if you can, as long as your body can write the checks, then you're good, dude. You're good. I don't care. You want to talk it, you better walk it. But when you do lose, be a professional about it. And I give her props that she has taken that to heart. And compared to how she was acting a year ago, she's actually shown a lot of maturity in the same situations. And I commend her for that. So just a little love for Sha'Carri, which I know most of you won't give a shit about. Most of you won't even know who she is until we get to the Olympics. And then you'll find out who Sha'Carri Richardson is. William Quigley says, Big O, keep in mind that a lot of the guys they brought in for special teams ended up starting on defense. Yeah, that's what I talked about that earlier as injuries mounted. They were adding and subtracting from the practice squad all year. Yep. And I think that's the break he got. You know what I mean? And they're still experimenting these first couple of weeks in the preseason. So this week in the first half, maybe we'll get a feel for special teams, but I'm still nervous. So he still has to prove to me that he is a competent coach. I miss our boy, God, what was his name now? Oh, what was the name of the prior special teams coach that we lost? God, I liked him. Now I'm brain farting. Oh. I'll remember the second I get off the air. Well, one of you will chime in and bring it in. But, God, I forgot the name of the last special teams coach. I really liked him a lot, man. He grew Rizzo. That's it. Rizzo. Thank you. Thank you. Westhoff. That was 20 years ago, bro. Oh, man. 72 Fins logo. Thank you for the love on the super chat. Remember, you can make a Bitcoin donation or cash donation at Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. We get 100% of the donation there. Here, YouTube takes 30% of it. Cash App or Venmo, Cash Big O Show. Big O, been following you since 560 days. Give me your honest opinion on QB2. Who you want? Thanks, my brother from another mother. Que voila. I thought Skyler would be the guy, and this weekend he kind of showed me he can be the guy. So I don't know, because last week wasn't a good week for the quarterbacks, but man, Skyler looked large and in charge this week. He looked really good, man. So I've been pulling for Skyler. Let me phrase it the right way. Let me be okay, because I am always brutally honest. Was I a Mike White guy? Right. So I'm not much of a Mike White guy. When they signed him, I'm like, not that impressed with his body of work. I get it. Pembroke Pines, Miami kid, South Florida kid. So all of you go crazy. We got to have every free agent that's from South Florida. We got to have every player. I get all that craziness that you guys get into. But when I looked at Mike White's game overall, it's still way more interceptions than touchdowns. It's still really not that impressive of a body of work overall. So when I look at Skyler, I see more physical ability already as it is. So if I'm able to fine tune that, then I want Skyler over Mike White, to be quite honest. And I thought Skyler had the in early on. And then when training camp started, Mike kind of took the lead, right? And now this week with the performance of Skyler, he closed the gap again and kind of put it up in the air. So I don't know, man. I almost feel like they'll give Mike White the shot first at all of this, just because they kind of think of the experience and all that kind of stuff. But I'm more of a Skyler guy than a Mike White guy. Okay? That's kind of the way I lean on that one. 72 Fins logo, thank you, sir, for the love on the super chat. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Appreciate it. Okay. Let's see. What else do we have here? Jarrell Exposito on Twitter is asking, think the Dolphins roll with 4 running backs like last year? Looks like they have some tough calls to make. Mostert, A-Chain, Wilson are a lock. Chris Brooks and Ahmed might be. See, here's where I disagree with you. I think Ahmed is more of a lock than Gaskin. Okay? So I actually think Ahmed is the 4th, and I think Gaskins and Brooks are the battle for the 5th. And because Brooks is a little different, I'm going Brooks. I think Gaskin is the guy that is the odd man out. I think Chris Brooks makes it as your 5th guy. And Myles Gaskin is outside looking in, unfortunately, because it's kind of, the same thing. And so if you have A-Chain, Ahmed, and Gaskin, it's kind of the same player 3 times over. So Chris Brooks brings a little bit more power. He's a little bit bigger, not a fullback size, but he's at least a little bigger. So I would probably keep Chris Brooks over Myles Gaskin. So I think they keep 5, and Brooks is the guy they keep. And remember, special teams is also very important. So you got to get in there somehow too. Let's see. Any word on Dame? Not yet. The interview with Ira Winderman will be dropping in a little bit. Okay. Let's see. What else do we have? Big O, how about Ahmed and A-Chain? Very productive. Yes, the whole running game was productive. The offensive line was absolutely terrific. So David says losing A-Chain for an extended period would be a negative. He has more upside than any other running back on the roster. Yes, but they're deep enough that they can get by without it. Okay? It's not the end of the world, bro. Their running game last year was just fine. It was more about the coach not sticking with it. So it's not the end of the world. You didn't have A-Chain last year and you won your games. They just need to stick to the run, and they'll be fine. They can live without A-Chain if that's the case for a couple weeks. Not a big deal. I don't like that we haven't heard anything about it. That I don't like. What do I think about Berrios? I've thought from the get-go, he's your slot receiver. He's your number 3 guy. He's going to get all the action there. He's terrific at finding the holes in the defense. So I love the Braxton Berrios pickup. in a big-time way. Jimmy Graham arrested over the weekend, former University of Miami tight end. You guys see this? Crazy stuff, dude. Let me read this story for you guys. And I want you to, there's more to this when you think about it, because it's a little scary. And so Jimmy Graham was arrested over the weekend under the influence and wandering through traffic when he was arrested ahead of the Saints preseason matchup against Los Angeles. The 36-year-old tight end was reportedly arrested in Southern California on Friday night for being under the influence and resisting police officers. Law enforcement responded to a call of a suspicious person acting erratically near a Southern California resort. At the scene, cops claimed they witnessed Graham walking in the streets, and they attempted to arrest him, but he resisted. The 36-year-old eventually was taken into custody for suspicion of being under the influence of a controlled substance and resisting, delaying, and obstructing a police officer, both misdemeanors. And now, I want to mention this because, did you guys read about Dwayne Haskins? So apparently he was assaulted and drugged, and I think he was also, they stole his stuff, so they kind of jacked him. And when he was wandering through the highway on 595, he was high out of his mind. So he might have picked up some woman that drugged him and then took everything, and then eventually he might have had an odd reaction or whatever, and then, shit got awry and he got killed. And you just wonder what happened. Did he take this on his own? Was he given this? And thank the Lord that the cops were able to get to him and arrest him. And hopefully he can obviously, fix whatever issue he has, because it's kind of scary. Okay. I mean, you got to be, hey, listen, man, I've gotten drunk, I've gotten buzzed, I get it, but I've never gotten so fucked up that I'm wandering the streets and I don't know what I'm doing or whatever, or driving, or, no. I'm good. I'll have a couple drinks or whatever. I'll get a little buzz and then I'm done. There's no need to get wasted, or there's no need to get so inebriated that you don't know what you're doing and all that. I find no sense in that. We've had that conversation before. I've been at concerts or sporting events, like all of you, concerts or sporting events, and you run into that person that is so wasted. It's like, how are you going to remember this game? How are you going to enjoy this game? How are you going to enjoy this concert? You know what I mean? Like, I go to concerts and I can still remember things from concerts 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years ago. Why? Because I didn't go wasted to the concert. Why am I going to do that? That's stupid. I want to remember shit. Now, the next day, that concert was, I can't remember it. Fuck you go for, dude. What'd you pay for the ticket? Why'd you go to this game and you can't remember the game because you were so wasted? That kind of stuff. And this may not be the case. Maybe Jimmy Graham was drugged like Dwayne Haskins. When you read the Dwayne Haskins story, it is scary, dude, and sad. So I hope Jimmy Graham gets the help he needs. Clearly football needs to be a part of his life, because even at 36, he still has the desire to continue to beat his body up, which it's already beaten up to a pulp, and he still wants to continue. Kind of tough. The other thing that I saw, bad luck, right? You see what happened with Robert Jones. Look at the Cowboys. Their third-round pick linebacker, DeMarvion Overshown, and their tight end, John Stevens, both tore ACLs over the weekend. Done for the year. Depth at tight end, and one of your, early picks, third round's pretty early, mid-round pick. Probably a guy that you had a lot of hope for. A third-round linebacker is a linebacker that you really like, because third-round linebackers are kind of starting positions, right there. It's not only first rounders, third rounders, plenty of them end up starting and making impacts. Usually, if you're taking a linebacker in the third round, it's because you're a big fan of that guy and you think he has starter potential. You're not drafting a guy in the third round at linebacker to just be a special teamer. You're thinking there's more potential there. So you lose that guy and John Stevens to ACL tears. I mean, it's a brutal game, man. God, it's a brutal game. Holy shit. It is rough, dude. Rough. By the way, Essential Moving Experts. We love talking about Sean Williams and the great people at Essential Moving Experts. 844-368-5750, the toll-free number. They've also got a 386 number there. You see it there, 213-4054. Moving was never so easy, folks. And over 1,700 happy customers have filed in and posted and said, hey, man, the experience with Essential Moving Experts was absolutely amazing. Why? Because flat rates. You know, they're moving Marcel. Marcel Louis-Jacques is actually using Essential Moving Experts. They're moving Marcel from Day to Broward County. So if you're moving from one county to another, within the county, within the state, from state to state, across the nation, their home base is in Daytona, but they service all of the entire country. Safe and efficient loading and unloading practices all the time. You can ask Marcel as he'll experience it. Like I told you, long moving services, home moving services, long distance moving services, office relocation. And let me tell you, if the place you're moving to is not ready right away, they will store your goods up to a month on the house in their warehouse. Now, if it's 2 or 3 months that the new house is not ready, the new business is not ready, you can negotiate the second and third months or whatever with Essential Moving Experts, and they'll hold it for you. Sean Williams and folks they're exceptional. They're big Dolphins fans. That's why their business is in Dolphins colors. So call them 386-213-4054 for Essential Moving Experts. And don't forget, Joe Shad joins us every week on the EssentialMovingExperts.com Miami Dolphins Exchange. Okay. So, anyway, what else do we have going on? Big O, you and Sean hitting any buffets? Well, yes. It's up to Sean now to scout the buffets, but we didn't hit one the last 2 times around. Sean, this will be the 3rd time you're going to Vegas, correct? Look at that. So in your entire radio career, when did you go to Vegas with other places? 0. Okay, that's what I thought. That's what I love. Our platform travels more than the local stations do. Let's see. What else do we have? I never did drugs or drank when I went to concerts, but I still caught buzzes at the Sporto. You know what it is, Edward? I don't mind. Hey, man, you're sitting there having your cigar. You get a little buzz, right? Strong cigars will give you a buzz. You have yourself a whiskey. You have yourself a glass of wine or two. A little buzz. There's nothing wrong with a little buzz. Okay? I never understood getting wasted. That was just something that you're acting like a horse's ass. Then you become a burden on your friends or family members, right? That's the other thing. Like real men, I don't know about all of you out there, but I think real men or fathers or the last thing we want to be is burdens. We want to carry a burden. We want to help you. But most of us really, I think if you're responsible, you don't want to be a burden on anybody for anything. That's just kind of the way some of us are wired. You know what I'm saying? And whether it's to your family or whether it's to your friends or coworkers or something like that, you have a responsibility to them at the same time. And that's kind of what I always felt if I was going to a concert, if I'm going to a party with friends or family members or a get together, or we're going to, what's it called? a show, hey, man, you want to have a drink? Go ahead. But, handle your alcohol, dude. Getting wasted and then you're acting like a jerk. And some of you are belligerent when you're drunk. Like I had a buddy of mine that used to just get belligerent. And it got to a point where I told him, dude, if you're going to drink, I'm leaving. Seriously. Why? Because then you became the burden. You became the pain in the ass on everybody. And like it gets to a point where, yo, bro, we're not here to get in trouble because of you. You know what I mean? And so it gets to a point that if you can't handle your liquor, you're no fun. You become a pain in the ass. You know what I'm saying? So I've never understood the people that get absolutely wasted for a sporting event or a concert. Never understood that. It just makes no sense in my mind. But whatever. Let's see. Saints say Graham had a medical event that led to that, possibly a seizure. We'll see. We'll see. The only drug I do is Cuban crack. Oh, cafe, huh? Yeah. Yeah. Cuban coffee. That's legal cocaine. That thing will get you going at 100 miles an hour. Yeah. Why cocaine? Right? Scarface didn't need cocaine. He just needed to go get un cafecito. Right? And that's it, bro. That's all. The world is yours. After a little cafecito, the world is yours. Same thing. You don't need a mountain of cocaine. You just need a little cafecito. Will is right. Moderation can enhance experience, like a toke or two makes music more penetrating to me. Being drunk off my ass to the point of toxicity, no bueno. No, you can't enjoy anything. You're not really enjoying it when you're wasted. It's stupid, bro. It's the dumbest thing in the world. Actually, no, I'm a fun drunk. I haven't gotten drunk in a long time, but I kind of like joking around is what it is. But I haven't gotten drunk in forever, dude. It's been decades. I think the last time I got drunk was in the Keys with the wife, and we were at a restaurant that was right next to our hotel, and we got buzzed, and then we went to the room. That's it. Can't tell you what else happened, but that's between me and the wifey. But I think that was like the last time, and that was decades ago. It's a long time ago. I don't, and it wasn't drunk. We were kind of like a little high, like a high buzz. You know what I mean? It was, we were drinking some wine, some La Crema we were drinking, which is one of my favorites, a Pinot Noir, one of my favorite wines. And we were a little buzzing, and we had a good time, a really good time. But that's it. That was kind of the last time. I don't like getting wasted or anything like that. It's no fun. And you end up with a headache and all that. Oh, screw that shit. Let's see what else. I got your seizure right here, says EJ Barro. Yeah. Frankie Fresco says this hurricane in LA sucks. Even our hurricanes in Miami are better. We're all safe, all wearing Dolphins heat gear. Yeah, no, it's crazy what's going on over there, man. Yeah. Yeah. California is an explosive place, dude. It's a volatile and violent place. Crime, earthquakes, fires, floods, landslides, mudslides, now remnants of hurricanes affecting them. It's a crappy run state. They're crime ridden because obviously weak leadership. And then you have all of the natural disasters that come with it. My Lord, I don't know. I can't live in California. Oof. I'll go visit it. It's fun to visit. except for San Francisco. San Francisco doesn't look like you want to visit that for anything in the world, by the way. San Francisco looks like it's uninhabitable at this point already. That's how much they've destroyed San Francisco. My God, Steve M., thank you for the love on the Cash App or Venmo. He said it on Venmo, Cash Big O Show. He says, Dolphins look good. Oh, it's nice to see Tua getting hot and getting back up. There we go. Holy shit. Hateful Steve sent in a positive comment. I think the world is coming to an end. Have you been outside, Sean? Is the sky black? Hateful Steve sent in something positive. That's scary. Okay? That's scary. Cash App or Venmo, Cash Big O Show. And remember, you can make a Bitcoin donation. Okay? Cash Big O Show. The Dow is down 210 points. S&P's down 5, and the Nasdaq's down 1/3 of a point. Dude, this Michael Blurry guy he made a $1.5 billion bet. He shorted the market that the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq would go down, and he's been working on that crash, dude. So PGA golfer Eric Compton was arrested over the weekend for allegedly throwing his wife into a wall and her cell phone into their South Miami-Dade pool as the two argued. He was taken to jail by Miami-Dade police and charged with domestic battery and strong arm robbery. What a nice guy. That is such classy things to hit women, right? That really shows that you're a real tough guy. I'm a weekend drinker, says Lucas. Booze. The juice isn't worth the squeeze. Poison. Finn's Rule says, last time I got drunk, I fell out of a moving car. Long story. Isaiah says, I don't drink anymore. Gave it up 12 years ago. There you go. So sad to see such a beautiful state go to shit like, I know, right? California is easily our best state. Easily should be like the best state in the union by like millennials, like just way ahead of everybody. And they are one of the worst. And that clown thinks he can run for president. Oh my God. Oh man. Ice Cube said it best back in the day. LA ain't all surf and sun anymore. Yeah, boy. No, and San Fran's even worse than LA. Okay? That's the screwed up part. San Fran is worse than LA. How crazy is that? Marcus Shabbat says, hear me out now, Big O. Miss the good old days when Finn players were sneaking into people's houses. Cecil Collins. Big O, California is like a bowl of granola. Once you get rid of the nuts and the fruits, all that's left is the flakes. Oh, man. Good morning, Big O and Sean, getting in from Vegas, brothers. Fins up. Good for you, Miles Deep. Good for you. And Vegas is probably going to deal with some really bad shit, too, because they're going to get a bunch of water also from this damn storm. Did you see the Russian spacecraft that crashed into the moon? It was unmanned. So the good thing is that, nobody was killed. But it's just like Russia's kind of lost like all its like credibility, respect, zest, whatever you've had for Russia over the years, right? Like, okay, Russia, I'm sorry, Russians out there, if you're listening, but we got to be honest here. Okay. Russia's always been known as a superpower and all that kind of stuff. But, they're also known as dirty people, and in sports, they've been cheaters, because their government has been dog shit forever, right? And Russian people now, I think a lot of them, back in the day, they were probably still pro, whatever their government you want to call it, communism or whatever crap it is. Nowadays, I think a lot of them are kind of coming to the realization that, hey, we're garbage and we need to move on from this crap, but they can't because they're in a big jail now and all that stuff. But then all the stuff that's happened under Putin, right? Mr. Tough Guy, right? Well, he's getting his ass kicked round side by in this war by Ukraine, right? And then you start seeing the rubles going down. They got all these sanctions. They're taking all kinds of hits. Their tanks have like Garmin's on them. They don't even have any GPS. They don't even have they can't even give the supplies to their soldiers because they're running out of shit. And now they're trying to rush themselves up into the moon. And here's their spaceship crashing. I mean, they're a disaster, bro. They are the biggest joke of a superpower that there is in the history of mankind. They can't do anything right under this clown Putin. I mean, Russia is a joke, dude. Now, the worst part about Russia being a joke is that you've got a psychopath on the button, right, that's running the country. So you really have no idea what's going to happen. But these fools in Russia can't do anything right, brother. They can't run their economy the right way. They can't win a war. They can't fly to the moon. I mean, yeah, everything is happening to Putin that should get him overthrown. How it happens, I have no idea. It'll be very interesting to see if it ever happens or if from within they get the balls to it. But what is happening before our eyes, Russia is just, I mean, it's a clown show. That's all it is. Russians are just clowns at this point. And their people should be embarrassed because their government's a disgrace. It's despicable. It's obviously, the amount of human rights violations, it's endless. But what's also kind of hilarious is that these clowns can't do anything right at all. And we've got, 30 countries helping Ukraine, giving them the stuff they need to fight again. And remember, a lot of Ukrainian people left that country. So they probably could have had an even bigger army and made even bigger impacts with obviously everybody giving them supplies. But it's just amazing to me when I saw the Russian spacecraft crash into the moon. The Luna 25 crash lost contact with officials in Russia following an abnormal situation and crashed on Saturday. Roscosmos said in a statement to Interfax. Moscow's lunar lander had been launched on a rocket earlier this month from the Cosmodrome, according to the agency, which published the photos of the launch. It had been expected to enter lunar orbit last week, marking the first time since '76 that Russian-made spacecraft would approach the moon. The craft on Saturday afternoon entered an elliptical orbit in anticipation of landing on the moon's surface, which had been part of the flight plan. Agency staff in Russia lost contact during or after that planned maneuver at about 2:57 p.m. Moscow time. Shortly after their last contact, the spacecraft entered an unplanned orbit and ceased to exist after colliding with the surface of the moon. Measures to find the spacecraft and make contact with it taken on August 19th and 20 yielded no results. The lunar lander had been expected to attempt a landing near the moon's south pole earlier this week. I mean, these fools can't control anything, dude. I mean, seriously. I think there was, didn't we have to go save like a Russian inside his own space station because he was trapped or something like that? And I think there was something like that too in the past. It's amazing, bro. I mean, seriously. Russia is just a freaking clown show. It's like that scene in Rocky IV, and they're all freaking out because Drago's getting his ass kicked. It's kind of like that. Oh, I can't accept it when men assault or hit women. I just wish they gave me 5 hours alone with an abandoned commercial building like a movie. I'm with you, bro. I'm with you. Cheo says, Orlando, maybe you had said something before. Hear me out. Leonard Fournette will be a member soon. Yeah, no, because they desperately need a running back. They're a joke with a ton of nukes. Exactly. Yeah, that's the problem. Russian spacecrafts are like Yugo cars. Should or never been built. Yep. I blame the vodka. Yeah, that's probably what they were using as gas. What is scary, all the times we've gotten rides to the ISS from Russia after we scrapped our shuttle program. It's crazy. Dolphin quarterback Mike White is in concussion protocol. Does this mean Tua and Skyler both play in the next game? Well, I think Tua will play, and Skyler obviously is going to get a lot. There was a Russian spacecraft that failed, so NASA nearly had to go to SpaceX to send an emergency spacecraft. Right. I remember something like that. It was like a year ago or something like that. I remember that. Big O, what are your thoughts on the new currency that cost $55 for one of theirs? What are we talking about? I don't know. Are you talking about the CBDCs? Because that'll be dollars. I don't know what we're talking about here. Your thoughts on the new currency that costs $55 for one of theirs. You got to tell me exactly what you're talking about, Hunter Butler. Got to tell me exactly what it is. I don't know what you're talking about. What else do we have? Let's go with birthdays today. Let's see who's celebrating some birthdays today. There's always YouTube and TikTok stars. Usain Bolt is 37 years old. Bo Burnham, comedian, is 33 years old. Pop singer Jesse Rutherford from The Neighborhood. Don't know the band, but he's 32 years old. Brody Jenner is 40 years old today. Robert Lewandowski, soccer player, is 35. Hayden Panettiere, save the cheerleader, save the world, is 34 years old today. Wilt Chamberlain was born on this day back in 1936. The man that banged the conga line passed away in 1999. Princess Margaret was born on this date back in 1930. We lost her in 2002. Kenny Rogers was born on this date in 1938, and we lost him in 2020. Remember, it's the wood that makes it good. Casey Musgraves is 35 years old today, the country singer. Loretta Devine, actress, she is 74 today. My milkshake brings all the boys to the yard. Keyless is 44 years old today. Serge Tankian is 56, metal singer for System of a Down. Let's see. Jake Pitts, guitarist for Black Veil Brides, is 38 years old today. And Mike Evans, wide receiver for the Bucks, is 30 years old today. Those are the folks celebrating birthdays today. And no wrestlers today. At least I didn't notice a wrestler, even though I don't know most of them. But I like to mention them sometimes because, of course, Sean knows all the wrestlers. But no wrestlers here on this list, at least. Doesn't mean that there aren't any wrestlers celebrating birthdays today. I could be wrong. Now, in music history today, today in 1965, the Rolling Stones started a three-week run at number one on the album charts with Out of Our Heads, their first U.S. chart topper. The record's success probably had something to do with the hit single off it called I Can't Get No Satisfaction. In 1967, the Doors headed to Sunset Sound Studios in Hollywood to begin recording their second album, Strange Days. In 1998, Journey played in Kentucky their first live show with Steve Perry's replacement, new singer Steve Augeri, which sucked. In 1982, U2 singer Steve Bono married his girlfriend of 7 years, Alison Stewart. Bassist Adam Clayton was the best man. In 1983, on this date, Ramones guitarist Johnny Ramone spent 4 hours undergoing brain surgery after being found unconscious on a New York street where he got into a fight. In 2005, synthesizer inventor Robert Moog died at the age of 71 from brain cancer. In 1997, Oasis released their third album, Be Here Now. It sold 424,000 copies, becoming the fastest-selling record in British chart history. In 2002, U2 shot the video for their new single, Electric Storm, with actress Samantha Morton in the wee hours of the morning in a French seaside town. In 2003, on this date, Fred Durst wrote on Limp Bizkit's website that they had changed their name for the band's upcoming album from Panty Sniffer to The Results May Vary. That is what happened today in music history. By the way, Devo is retiring from music, and they are now on their final tour. Two of the band's co-founders, Mark Mothersbaugh and Glenn Casale, said how time and varying opinions on creative directions have played a role in decisions. Are you married? Mothersbaugh asked the journalist. Imagine if you had 4 wives and you work together. It's tricky being in a band. You've got a body of work informed by a whole manifesto and philosophy. Do you... Well, wait a minute. Okay, now this thing refreshed on me. It refreshed on me and I lost my entire spot. Okay, let's try it again. Damn. Sorry. Anyway, they're into their final tour, and most of the dates, by the way, are on the West Coast. So you lucky bastards out there, you're going to end up seeing Devo, and they are celebrating their 50 year of de-evolution. Okay? So the dates are already booked. Man, there's a part of me that wants to fly out to California just to see some show, man. I've never seen Devo live, actually. No, I'm sorry. I did see him. I saw him once. Saw him once a long time ago. That's right. I did see him once. They'll be in Cleveland, Ohio, September 22nd and the 23rd, which is actually not a far plane trip. Then they go to Paso Robles, California, November 3rd, Seattle, Washington, the 7th, Portland, Oregon, the 8th and the 9th, Del Mar, California, the 11th and the 12th, San Francisco, the 14th, Los Angeles, the 16th, Huntington Beach, the 18th, and December 1st through the 3rd in Melbourne, Australia, in the Good Things Festival. And that's it. No more Devo ever again. So if they're going to one of those cities that you live in, take advantage, man. Go see the legends, baby. Go see the legends. That's what you need to do. Let's see. The Soviet Union, Mother Russia, went from first satellite to orbit the Earth, which scared families across the U.S. First animal in space, first man in space, first woman, first docking. Yep. And now they are crap. They're a disaster of a country, brother. Absolute disaster. Adolfo says, please let us know if you have an opinion on the other team during the preseason dress rehearsal. For example, the Bills. I got to tell you, Adolfo, here's my opinion. And it hasn't changed from the offseason. The Dolphins are winning the division. They're the best team in the division. Go out and prove it. Okay? I know the Bills have been the best team. I know the Jets added Aaron Rodgers. I think the Dolphins are better than both teams at this point. Health is the only thing. See, I'm a little different than most. What happened last year was injuries that derailed their season. The hopes would be higher this year. Like I'll talk to Alan in the afternoon, and we'll post it later. But last week, like when he said the team was a borderline playoff team, that's crazy. They made the playoffs with a ton of injuries and a third string quarterback. And they almost won that game. So now you're way better and you added a defensive coordinator. See, the problem is people are jaded because of the injuries. Guys like Allen are jaded because of the injuries. And so you think they're not that good, but they were way better than they were last year. The problem is the injuries. So, of course, if you get injuries again, it's going to derail anyone's season. But if they don't have the same kind of bad luck they had last year with injuries, and some of their main pieces are staying healthy this time around, including the quarterback, I got them winning the division. I think they got a team that can go to the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? So I have high hopes for this team. I have high expectations. I love the direction that they're going in. I think they have a front office. I think they found themselves a head coach. Here's a guy that will admit his mistakes. How do you not love that? So I have a much higher opinion of the Dolphins than most people. And I look at last year's results differently than other people. That's why. So to me, it's not about what the Jets look like. With Miami secondary, I don't fear Aaron Rodgers. And the Bills, Miami could have won all 3 games last year. They should have won all 3 games. In game 2, he abandoned the run. Tua threw a perfect pass to Braylon, and he made a boneheaded move and cut off the route, and it would have been a touchdown. Tyreek dropped a touchdown in that one. A whole bunch of shit happened in that game that you gave that game away to the Bills. And then in the third game, you abandon the run when you're pounding the shit out of them. And then when you get to the third down, you weren't even ready for the play at 3rd and 1. You didn't even have a play ready to go for 4th and 1. I'm sorry. That was on the coach. You convert that down, I don't know, you might be headed for a touchdown the way you were moving the ball against them. I like this team, dude. I think the front office did a marvelous job of building this team, even with the owner f***ing them by losing a 1st and a 3rd. So I really like this team. I'm not worried about the Bills, and I'm not worried about the Jets. If the Dolphins play their game and play up to their talent, and they're not injured, I like the Dolphins. Let's see. Porno for Pyros is touring 30th anniversary. They rarely tour. Asheville getting a show. Nice. I might see them if they come down here. Finn's rule. We're winning the Super Bowl. Amen to that. Amen to that. Teron Armstead is going to be hurt every other week again now. And they have now a fill-in. So hopefully they'll be all right. But I love how you just want to wait for the negativity. I know he gets banged up, but, let's wait till he gets banged up. The Dolphins' injuries in the secondary are mounting up a little already. I hope the same thing doesn't happen this year. Nah, it's just one injury. It's not a big thing. They'll be fine. I'm not worried about that. And they have the depth right now to get by without Jalen Ramsey. Oh, what 3 bands have had the greatest influence in music history? Shit, dude. Beatles. Black Sabbath, because they influenced metal. I'm not going to throw in, what's it called? Because you told me 3 only. So I can't put Kraftwerk in there. But Kraftwerk started the entire electric genre. So I'm going to go Beatles, who is the main influence for everybody. Jimi Hendrix and Black Sabbath. Okay? I mean, I could go back to Elvis and the Beatles if we're going to talk about main influences. You know what I'm saying? I'm picking Sabbath only because they influenced all of metal. And then I'm picking Jimi Hendrix because he influenced everything and every guitarist in the world. So I'll go with those 3, but it's so hard, dude. It really is, because James Brown, his influence, and Aretha Franklin's influence, just as important. It's hard for 3. It's really impossible for 3, because you can't take out Aretha and you can't take out James. You know what I mean? It's hard. And how do you take out Johnny Cash? As a guy that really kind of took country to like another level, you know? It's hard. It's so hard to do that and nail it down to just 3 bands, because there's too many that influenced, so many others. So it's a really difficult one. Yeah, Led Zeppelin. The thing with Led Zeppelin, they're one of the greatest bands, but the Beatles stuff came before them. So without the Beatles, there is no Led Zeppelin. So that's why I'll go with the Beatles over Zeppelin, because that's kind of where it started, whereas Black Sabbath went completely into another direction, another genre. You know what I'm saying? So that's probably why I will, have to, like, the Beatles are the start of everything. Everything. You name it. You know what I'm saying? So Beatles have to be like number 1 of the entire like music, period. So that's why I don't put Zeppelin there. I put the Beatles are the ones that influenced Zeppelin, and then and so on and so forth. After that, I would go more Black Sabbath, because they went into a completely different genre. You know what I'm saying? And then, Jimmy did it before Zeppelin. Kind of the hard rock, edgy type of thing, and then he was still in the psychedelic side of it too. But that's why I would probably, leave the I would only put Zeppelin in the conversation of greatest bands of all time. But when I talk about the most major influences, yeah, I probably would put them in the backseat to the Beatles. Yeah, I'm not putting the Eagles there either. Yeah, they're behind the Beatles. Without the Beatles, you don't have any of that. Skynyrd is great because Southern rock. I like that. Because they started a genre of music, kind of like what I was telling you with Kraftwerk. So yeah, I can do that. All right, folks, we are out of here. We will see you all. Oh, one more thing before I go. When sports and business collide, we like doing something called the KSDT CPA, Sports Business Report. All right. So Messi has moved to Major League Soccer, right? You want to know what his impact on ticket sales has been? The U.S. prices have surged over 1,700% in the secondary market compared to last year. He's making in the neighborhood of 50 to 60 million a year. Messi signing subscriptions with MLS Season Pass. The followers have more than doubled now at this point. Also, the demand for Messi branded jerseys has been so strong that the MLS official online store has pushed off delivery orders until as late as October. Okay? Home games. The average list prices on the secondary market is up from $152 to $864, an increase of 468%. The effect is more pronounced on away games. New York and Los Angeles, for all remaining away games combined, average ticket prices are up 1,002%. Okay? I mean, it's crazy. Cincinnati game, $87 was the average, $650 now. The New York Red Bulls average was $90. It's at $1,674. LAFC, $137. $2,395 is the average ticket to see Messi in LA. Atlanta United was $116. It's now $494. Orlando City, it went from $97 to $1,755 for that game. That's crazy, dude. The lowest cost ticket for a game against the New York Red Bulls has shot up from $36 to $578 for Messi's arrival. Chicago Fire last year was $23, has climbed to $192. Messi bringing some money, dude. Okay? And by the way, if you want to manage your money, there's the QR code. Reach out to our friends at KSDT CPAs, your personal, your business. There's a top 200 tax and accounting firm in the country by Forbes in their rankings. So reach out to them. They're in Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach counties. Use that QR code to reach out to them or call them 305-670-3370. That is your KSDT CPA Sports Business Report.
This has been the KSDT Sports Business Report. KSDT CPA is one of South Florida's largest and one of the country's fastest growing accounting firms. KSDT is recognized by Forbes as one of the top tax and accounting firms for 2022. KSDT CPA is a full service firm that also excels in crypto. Visit online at ksdtcpa.com or call 305-670-3370.
All right, folks. Be alert on the platform here. In this afternoon, Ira Winderman's interview will drop. If it hasn't dropped yet, Alan Poupar, Marcel Louis-Jacques will drop this afternoon. So you'll get it here on the platform. We're doing it after Mike McDaniel speaks here at noon. So we'll get all the nuggets for that. So be alert and please subscribe to Big O Radio Show Live. Okay. The link is there on our chat board. You can find it. I have posted it a couple of times. Let me see if I can post it again for you guys one more time, just in case. I don't know if I find it here. There it is. Oh, I can't actually get it and grab it. But anyway, Big O Radio Show Live. If everything goes well, we are live there tomorrow. Starting there, you will catch the live show every single day. Everything else will be on this platform. All the interviews, the rants, the breaking news, Dolphins pre- and post-game show, all of it here. The only thing is the daily live show will move over. And it's pretty simple. You come here to Big O Radio Show all the time, just add live to it. Big O Radio Show Live. And you'll find it. If you want the link, go to our Twitter page at Big O Show, and the link is there also. That's another way you can find the link. Please subscribe, hit the notification bell. That way you know when we go live. All right? You all be good out there. We'll see you tomorrow. Same time, same place. Same Bat Channel.